Welcome to ACD Combatives, your combatives and control tactics channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. Guys, Coach Kurt, quick follow-up on my when to grapple, when to strike. I wanted to make sure there are some things that are perfectly clear. At the end of the day, what really matters is the case law, Graham v. Connor. What is objectively reasonable? It doesn't talk about minimal force, it talks about reasonable force. And it's super important to understand that reasonable force can sometimes look not the greatest on video. Violence is violence. When somebody's trying to fight you or resist arrest, it looks easy in the dojo when you've got somebody choreographing and working with you cooperatively. But on the street, against somebody who's trying to get away, against a good bad guy, it's not always so easy. So let's return to that video that I showed last time about the officer making the arrest. I think it's super important to know that we don't know what the crime is. We don't know if this guy's a known felon that fights police officers, and then that would give the officer more reason to protect himself more aggressively. And now he's trying to escape. We don't know what the crime is. How important is it to maintain this guy and not let him escape? The other bad guy in the car, question mark? You don't know. You have no idea what this person is up to. You don't want to be rolling with the guy long-term on the ground, doing good control techniques with grappling skills, and not keep an eye on the other bad guy. See, he's got multiple things. He's multitasking right now. He's talking on the radio. He's looking up and seeing, is this other person going to try to get out of the car and shoot me in the head? Are they going to try to escape? Who knows? We don't know the whole story. Guy's still trying to get up. He has to knock him back down, and he's still trying to control the individual and keep a big picture. This other guy walks up. What was his hand doing? We don't know. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? We just don't know. In this case, we know from seeing it previously that he is there to help the police officer control the individual and get the handcuffs on him. Guys, striking is very reasonable. I know that I push grappling a lot on my channel just because that's a big weak area in law enforcement, and a lot of cops just don't like doing it because they're not comfortable doing it. But having good striking skills, good maybe from training MMA, maybe from training boxing, Muay Thai, these are all good striking systems to study, is really important. Now remember, there's a big difference between open hand and closed hand strikes. I am a big advocate of closed hand striking in law enforcement. Now you see me punch all the time with a closed hand. Well, I've been practicing that way for a very long time. Sport boxing and combatives or fisticuffs, bare knuckle is very different. You risk breaking your hand on the street, and you don't want to do that because then you can't handle your weapon or your defensive tools. So I'm a big advocate of the open hand strike. Here you see me demonstrating palm strikes, and now I'm showing that it's different from what you would see a normal boxer do. You can see that I'm doing that drop step, and I'm rotating into the strike. Here I am demonstrating just a regular fist. But guys, you want to hit someone to the face with an open hand, that's fine. But I'm a big advocate of hard on soft and soft on hard, meaning a soft hand palm to the hard head, or a closed fist or a foot to the body, which is softer. And here I am demonstrating the strikes open-handed, and they can still be extremely effective. I'm a huge fan of Boss Rudin. Here you go. Bam, he knocked people out like it was for free with open hand strikes. That was the old Pancrase rules. They weren't allowed to have closed hand to the head. And it obviously didn't slow him down. Now, obviously, you and me, are not Boss Rudin, but if trained properly, is still very effective. And there is one of my favorite strikes. He uses a liver kick, followed up with a liver punch. You can quick, fast, in a hurry take the fight out of somebody with a strike. Now, guys, like I said, it just doesn't look great on video. Grappling with somebody long-term is very camera-friendly. And talking to them, using positional control, I advocate that. That's like the mass majority of my videos is showing me grappling techniques, takedown techniques, arresting techniques. I don't strike as much on this channel. I'm a big advocate of training striking. I train it on my own. I train it with my trainee Aiken, but most of the stuff I show is for self-defense and successful arrests. with grappling, joint manipulation, takedowns, because that's a lot of the shortcomings in law enforcement combatives today. It's super important to train that. It just doesn't look good. And don't let the looks persuade you in what you can and can't do. Just follow your procedure, articulate excessively well in your report to explain why you used a closed hand strike to somebody. Here's Boss Rutan again, doing the liver kick excessively. He hits the guy with a lead hand to the liver, open hand. Here he is, closed hand to the head, and the guy's going down. Guys, there's a place for this, and it's extremely intelligent to use a closed hand. I highly advocate it. And part of the reason I did this video is because I had a really good comment from a follower who's explained that bad guys can be very dead to strikes. They're bad people. They grew up fighting, scrapping. They've been hit. Maybe they've done time and they learned to fight on the inside, i.e. gladiator school. My first 5 years of my career was in corrections, so I've seen it firsthand. I assure you that a lot of these bad guys are ahead of the game when it comes to training and or being able to scrap. A lot of my recruits today, unless they came out of the military, just don't know how to scrap, and it's frustrating. They've never been hit. They don't know how to hit. And also there's the whole, what I call the CNN phenomenon, where people don't like to see stuff like this on video. The average citizen sees this on their nightly news. They're like, oh my gosh, that's brutal. Guys, it's not like in the dojo when everybody's cooperating with a choreographed technique. This is why I push MMA and jiu-jitsu and Krav Maga, or certain schools of Krav Maga, because you have to do reality training. You have to test your technique against an actual resisting opponent, and I assure you, it does not look pretty. So at the end of the day, know and understand that there is absolutely a time and a place to strike. You should not be grappling with somebody if you can't control the scene. You don't want to be tied up on the ground. Know that you need to train both. Stand-up techniques, striking techniques, ground techniques. Be very proficient with your tools. You need to be proficient with it all. I hope that clarified certain things, because some people just thought, oh, that just looked horrible, the way that cop punched the guy. I assure you it was very appropriate for that situation. Please like, subscribe, and share. And remember, you drive the channel. Let me know what you want to see. Thank you.
Start the damn joust before I piss myself.
Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out.